Hello students, in this class we are going to see on what criteria Mendeleev's arranged different elements into the periodic table, or what is the law given by the Mendeleev for classification of elements into the periodic table. See, right at outset, let me tell you that he was having a deeper understanding of this periodic classification of elements, how that is to be done. Before him, there was Dobriner, who said that when elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses, we will come across groups of three elements having similar chemical properties in such a way that the mass of the middle one will be roughly equal to the average of the masses of the other two. That was given by Dobriner. We have separately dealt with this in detail in a separate video. Then came Newland, and Newland said that if elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses, again the same thing was stated, increasing order of the atomic masses, chemical properties of eighth element will be the repetition of the chemical properties of first element. That was by Newland. Now came Mendeleev, and he too said if elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses after certain period chemical properties will be repeated. But rather than using one criterion, he used two criteria. And the one was, if elements are arranged, if I come across such elements whose masses are different, whose atomic masses are different, I will arrange them one after another in a row like this. First smaller mass, then greater mass, and yet another one. So he said that if I come across elements while arranging them into the periodic table for classification, if I come across such elements whose masses are different, I will arrange them one after another in the increasing order of their atomic masses. Another criterion that he used was that if I come across such elements whose chemical properties are similar, then I will arrange them one over another. So rather than using one criterion for both, that is by Dobriner as well as by Newland, he used two. One was, if I come across elements whose if I come across such elements whose atomic masses are different, I will arrange them one after another in a row. And if I come across elements whose chemical properties are similar, I will arrange them one over another in a group. So these were two criteria. Now the question will arise, how Mendeleev identified elements whose chemical properties according to him were to be similar. So see, he used the formulae for oxide and hydride formula of the different metals. Na2O if I write, K2O if I write, and Li2O if I write, and if I write CO2. You can see these oxide formula for sodium, potassium and lithium are similar, and this is different oxide formula. It is different from these two. There could be another formula which are similar to this, but while comparing that, we will be able to see these elements are supposed to have similar properties. Also, he said I will look their hydride formula. So if I write NaH and then KH and then LiH and then again I write NH3. See, the hydride formula for lithium, potassium and sodium are similar, and this is different hydride formula. So we will say, rejecting this, these are having similar chemical properties. Another obvious question should arise, that just by looking at oxide and hydride formula, how he could conclude that they have similar chemical properties, and why only oxide and hydride formula. See, oxygen and hydrogen are two highly reactive elements, and they are always found in a combined state with most of the elements that are existing, which means only this, that for most of the elements oxide and hydride formula are a reality. The oxide and hydride formula do exist. So that is how he said he will arrange. And now these were the two criteria, and based on this he made a periodic table. Further we will see in this very class. Okay, let us extend our video for some duration, and let us say what were the merits of the Mendeleev's periodic table in comparison with the other people. See, Mendeleev left some blank spaces while arranging elements like this. He said, okay, if I say this is silicon, then he said there is some element like called eka-silicon. He said there is an aluminium and there is another one, eka-aluminium. I am not writing in the proper sequence the way it is written into the periodic table, but just to make you understand how we have to understand it, and rather we must interpret it. Another one was, he said boron, and he said there is one eka-boron. eka boron. Like this, he left some empty spaces. This eka boron. Here was an empty space. Here was an empty space, and here was an empty space. So he meant eka in Sanskrit means first. So eka silicon means first comes silicon. See, undoubtedly silicon was known. That is why he could name eka silicon. So it does not mean that eka silicon will come before silicon. Eka silicon means first comes silicon and then comes another element which we now temporarily have called eka silicon. First comes aluminium, then comes eka aluminium. First comes boron and then comes eka boron. And in present time, this is called scandium and this is called gallium and this is known as germanium. So eka silicon was germanium later on. So this was one advantage, that he left some blank spaces into the periodic table and stating that some elements are yet to be discovered. How could he guess that? See, on the basis of the properties of the adjacent elements, he said, if there is a little variation, let us say the density, let us say, see this, please do not quote, I am just trying to make you understand. Suppose the density of one element here is x, and next one is x plus 1, and for the next it is x plus 2, and then he finds one element whose density is like x plus 4. Then with this, here the variation was okay and it was in a range, particular range, rather that of 1, and suddenly it became a variation of 2. So he said, okay, there is some element which yet to be discovered, and that will be kept here. This is how, by studying the chemical properties of the adjacent elements, he could predict, yes, some elements are yet to be discovered. And to your astonishment, when these elements were discovered, their properties were found exactly same as were predicted by Mendeleev. See, even elements were not existing. And he declared that when you are able to find these elements, their chemical properties will be like this. It is, you can say, having a very, very good understanding of chemistry, that then only he could tell. He could predict chemical properties of those elements which were yet to be discovered, and to your astonishment, they were found exactly similar. So for one example, we will see for eka aluminium, which was found finally as gallium. So far as atomic mass is concerned, he said it will be 68 U when you discover eka aluminium, and it was found to be 69.7 U. So far as density is concerned, he said 5.9 gram per centimeter cube will be the density of eka aluminium, which later on was discovered as gallium, and its density was found 5.94 gram per centimeter cube, which is very, very close to this predicted value. Then he said its melting point will be low, he said. And for gallium, melting point is 30.2 degrees Celsius, and for a metal this is low only. He said the oxide formula for this will be EA2O3, and it was found to be Za2O3, exactly same. And for, he said, chloride formula of this will be found EaCl3, and it was found to be GaCl3. So the predicted values were very, very close to the actual values when the later on element was discovered. And yet another merit for the Mendeleev's periodic table is that when all the noble gases were discovered, they could be accommodated just in one group, which he named as 18th group, which people later on named as 18th group, and all the noble gases or inert gases were accommodated. See, all the noble gases which were later on when discovered could be accommodated into just one group. This itself does not make it a merit of the Mendeleev's periodic table. But why it is merit? Because he could do so without disturbing the arrangement of all other elements into the periodic table. He could arrange all the noble gases when they were, rather people later on after him could accommodate all the noble gases when they were later discovered into the one group without disturbing arrangement of other elements into the periodic table. And which means only this, that his distribution of other elements into the periodic table was already under some logic, or it was logical arrangement. So these were three merits. In the next class we will discuss the demerits.